Although a resident of San Francisco, I never heard much about the Art Union Association of that city until I got hold of some old newspapers during my 3 month stay in the Big Tree region of Calaveras County. Up there, they read everything, because in most of those little camps they have no libraries, no books to speak of, except now and then a patent office report or prayer book or literature of that kind in a general way that will hang on and last a good while when people are careful with it, like miners. But as for novels, they pass them around and wear them out in a week or two. Now there was Coon, a nice bald-headed man at the hotel in Angel's Camp. I asked him to lend me a book one rainy day, and he was silent a moment, and had a shade of melancholy flitted across his fine face, and then he said, "Well, I've got a mighty responsible old Webster Unabridged, what there is left of it, but they started her sloshing around and sloshing around and sloshing around the camp before I ever got a chance to read her myself. And next she went to Murphy's, and from there she went to Jackass Gulch, and now she's gone to San Andreas, and I don't expect I'll ever see that book again. But what makes me mad is that for all they're so handy about keeping her sashaying around from shanty to shanty and from camp to camp, none of them's ever got a good word for her. Now Coddington had her a week, and she was too many for him. He couldn't spell the words. He tackled some of them regular busters towards the middle, and they throwed him. Next Dyer, he tried her a jolt, but he couldn't pronounce 'em. Dyer can hunt quail and play 7-up as well as any man, understand, but he can't pronounce worth a cuss. He used to worry along well enough, though, till he fleshed out one of them rattlers with a clatter of syllables as long as a string of sluice boxes, and then he'd lose his grip and throw up his hands, and so finally Dick Stoker harnessed her up, and there at his cabin, and sweated over her and cussed over her and wrastled with her for more as 3 weeks, night and day, till he got as far as R, and then passed her over to Liege Pickerel, and said she was all firedest, driest reading he ever struck. Well, if she's come back from San Andreas, you can get her and I prospect her, but I don't reckon there's a good deal of her left by this time. The time was when she was as likely a book as any in the state, and as hefty, and had an amount of general information that was astonishing. If any of these cattle had known enough to get it out of her. And ex-corporal Coon proceeded cheerlessly to scout with his brush after the straggling hairs on the rear of his head, and drum them to the front for inspection and roll call, as was his usual custom, before turning in for his regular afternoon nap.